Alright, what is going on, guys? Today I'm going to be doing my monthly pickups video for May of 2025. Before I start this, I'm sorry, I don't really have much of a voice right now. I've been sick for about the past week. I've had a sore throat. I'm kind of recovering now, but I'm still not 100%, so gonna sound a little bit weird. I'm sorry about that. But anyway, this was a gigantic month for me. I went to two different conventions. One of them I made a video on. It was PAX East in Boston. I also went to Retro Game Con Spring Edition. That was in Syracuse, New York. And I got a lot of stuff. I didn't get that much from PAX. In the video, I really only showed like 3 pickups. And I got like maybe 2 more. That was about it. But the majority of the stuff that I got was the week or 2 after. I guess I'll just start getting through it because this is probably going to be a long one. Gonna try to start out with some of the more kind of basic, less interesting stuff, but a lot of what I got was some heavy hitters or kind of weird, obscure things. That is mainly what I go for. So there really isn't a whole lot of filler, but I'll show it anyway. GameStop was doing I think it was like a 4 for $20 sale or something like that. I don't remember exactly, but they were doing basically like a bundle discount sale. So I got a bunch of kind of random games here. A few of them were just to fill in the extra spots. There were actually some duplicates that I accidentally purchased, so those I'm not going to show because I already have them. But I got Teardown for the Series X. This game I've seen a lot of. I've never played it, but it seemed really cool. And I didn't even know that they made a physical copy of it, but they did, so I bought it. I also got this, which is For Honor for the Xbox One. I remember I used to have a lot of friends that played this game, like way back when it originally released. Apparently it still has a somewhat decent player base. Not sure 100% if it's for me, but it might be cool to check out for $5. Also got Guilty Gear XRD, was it Revision 2 or something? 2D fighting game. I played a little bit of Strive and I had some fun with it. I've never tried any of the other Guilty Gears. If it's anything like Strive, I'll probably enjoy it. And then I also got Need for Speed Unbound for PS5. So I already have this on Xbox. That's what I played it on originally. A lot of people didn't like this one. I really liked it. I had a lot of fun with it. So I wanted to pick it up just to have it on the other console. Pretty fun game. I would definitely recommend it if you like some of the newer, like Need for Speed 2015, Payback, Heat. This one you'll probably like too. Next up right here, I've got Street Fighter X Tekken for Xbox 360. I like Street Fighter. I like Tekken. I've never played this crossover game, but if it's anything like either of those games, it'll be a good time. This one here, I'm very surprised I didn't have it already, but that is Zombie U for the Wii U. One of Ubisoft's big exclusives. I think they ended up releasing it on other consoles and they just called it Zombie, but this was one of their big Wii U exclusives, like right when the system came out. So I'm surprised I didn't have it. It's not really worth much, if anything at all. I paid $10, although I think I got a discount on it because I did kind of a bundle deal. It's a kind of basic zombie survival game, nothing super special. This one here I got mainly because it's a PSVR game, and that is really cool, and I definitely want to try it out, is Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. So I've already watched a full playthrough of this game. I already know the whole story. I remember originally when this came out, I watched a YouTube playthrough, and it was pretty good. I enjoyed what I saw of it. I never played it. I've never played any Resident Evil myself, actually. Although I have played like the demo for this. I think I downloaded it back when this came out. But it always seemed kind of cool. I'm not a huge horror guy, but this probably wouldn't be a bad one to try out. Especially with the VR, that would be pretty horrifying. And I think that would be kind of funny. I want to at some point get all of the PSVR games that were released physically. Because there's not like a ton of them. There's definitely more than the PSVR 2 has. But it's still not like a huge set. This next one here, I only got because I had no clue what it was, and I was with a group of friends, and we all just kind of wanted to try it. And that is Tunnel B1. So we played it. It's like this weird kind of like mech game type thing, where you're just going through a tunnel, and you have to like shoot these other mechs. It really isn't like the greatest game of all time, but just the box art looked weird. And all of like on the back, we were just trying to figure out what kind of game this was. So picked it up for that reason. It's all right. I paid like $5 for it. That's probably about fair. I definitely got $5 worth of enjoyment out of it. Next up here, I've got Majora's Mask 3D for the 3DS. This one I actually ordered from GameStop like 2 years ago, and they sent me a loose cartridge, so I returned it. I do not like having any DS games in a loose cartridge. I have like 2 of them that I've just picked up from like other consoles, but I just hate buying loose games, especially for DS and 3DS. So this is my first time actually having a complete in-box copy. It's not really an expensive game. It's just one of those ones where after that, I've been kind of waiting for one to come up, and they haven't really. Majora's Mask is really good. I played Ocarina of Time on the 3DS when that re-release came out, and I enjoyed it, so it's probably going to be a lot of the same. All right, and something that I kind of started this month, surprisingly, I don't own any long box PS1 games, or at least I didn't. So I went to a game store that actually is opened by a guy that I used to know from a local flea market, and he had a bunch of PS1 long boxes that somebody had just traded in. So I kind of dug through it, picked out a few of the good ones. There were a lot of sports games and stuff, but I picked out a lot of the ones that I thought were kind of interesting and that I wanted to pay for. So starting off here, we've got Cyber Speed. I don't really know much about these games at all. There's a couple that I've seen before, but I mainly just got them because they're long boxes. Because, again, I like going for the kind of subsets. I don't think I'm ever going to do a full PS1 set, but I could do all the long boxes. All the greatest hits might be cool too. But yeah, so this one's in one of those weird cardboard boxes, which these kind of suck, but it's whatever. I also have Descent, which is from, in one of the worst cases, that's like the plastic ones with the glued on labels. So this is kind of disintegrating, which sucks. But that's in there, still has the foam, which is cool. Got Battle Arena Toshinden, I think is how you say it. This is in one of like the Saturn or Sega CD themed boxes. Yeah, there were 3 different boxes that they used in North America for the long box games. I don't know why. It's just how they did it. And really, the long boxes weren't in production for that long. So I think it's weird that they changed that many times. We also got Road and Track presents The Need for Speed. This is the first game in the series. This also was released for, I think it might have been on Saturn. I know for sure it was on 3DO, but PlayStation 1 version was a little bit improved, and a little bit better speed. I think a couple more tracks and cars. That one I think I have a loose disc for, but again, I hate loose copies. Also right here, I've got the first Ridge Racer. I think I have the short box version of this, or like a greatest hits or something, but I'm trying to start a long box set, so I went for that. And then I also, for the final one, got Total Eclipse Turbo. This one I don't know about. The box art just looked kind of cool, and it was in one of the Saturn-looking cases that was in a really good shape. But yeah, so decent stack of PS1 long boxes to start the collection out. The big problem is rearranging the shelf to fit these, because the shelf is spaced for jewel cases right now, but I will cross that bridge when I get there. So that's pretty much it for the basic stuff. I've got a couple other ones here. I've got 2 of the Mega Man Battle Network games for GBA here. $15 each. I think I got a bundle deal of like 25 on them. I've never played these. I don't know much about them, but they're GBA games that aren't complete garbage. So sure, I don't add to that collection much. Pretty much everything from here on out is all going to be somewhat heavy hitters. I think this is the only other one that's not really. It's Tetrasphere for the N64. Eventually, I want to go for a full set, so I'm just picking everything up for 64 that I don't have. But yeah, from here on out, it's all going to be relatively big games, or games for like kind of more obscure systems, which is, my main thing. So we just spoke about Need for Speed for the PS1. Here's Need for Speed for the 3DO. 3DO long boxes are huge. This one was $30, And like I said, this is kind of the worst way to play this game because they did improve the speed and add some new stuff and make some changes to the PlayStation version. But yeah, it is just funny because the PlayStation long box is already so big, and this thing just absolutely dwarfs it. It's awesome. So I especially don't know where this one's going to go on the shelf. And to make things even worse, I also picked up Syndicate for the 3DO, which, same long box. I don't know anything about this game. There's just a blue guy on the cover. I'll give him a shot. I'm always looking for new 3DO stuff to play because it's probably my least used system, but there is some pretty decent stuff on there. Next up, we got a couple Virtual Boy games. This one here is a Japan exclusive. It's V Tetris. There were actually two versions of Tetris released for this console. There's 3D Tetris, which is a little different. You actually have to clear a whole grid of cubes instead of just one line. V Tetris is more just a standard Tetris. It actually feels a lot like a predecessor to Tetris Effect, but that's probably just because it's a VR Tetris game, and this is the only other time it's been done. Pretty cool nonetheless. $30 for a Japan exclusive in box. I didn't think it was that bad. This is probably about what it would cost if I imported it, so can't complain there. I also got Galactic Pinball for Virtual Boy. This is probably one of the less great games for the system, but there's only like 20 of them. And again, it's another set that I'd like to go for at some point, although there's like 2 or 3 games that make that kind of almost impossible. But, you know, I want to grab as many as I can, especially in box, because I think the boxes are just kind of neat. It's a little dented in, but that's not going to be too bad to fix. Then right here, I've got a couple loose Virtual Boy games. We've got Mario Tennis, which I surprisingly didn't have already. My system came with Red Alarm, so this one I've been kind of putting off picking up. And then I also got Virtual Boy Wario Land, which is probably the best game for the system, or one of the best ones. That's one that I've been wanting to grab for a while. Unfortunately, not in a box, but it probably would have been triple this price if it was. And I could always find a box later. Got a couple other little cartridges here. I actually picked up 2 Neo Geo Pocket games, and those are Fatal Fury First Contact and King of Fighters, what is that, R2, I think? I don't have a lot of these games. These are actually North American, which is kind of cool. And my only system is actually partially broken, so I can't really use them right now, but I'm always looking for more games for this thing because it is really cool. This one here, I don't really know why I picked it up. It was just in box, and I really like boxed Nintendo stuff in general. So here's Ready to Rumble Round 2 for the N64. Box isn't in the best condition ever, but it's complete. I think I already have this game loose, but for $30, I think I paid for it, could do a lot worse. And speaking of a lot worse, I paid $60 for this. And it is one of the worst games on the 64. This is one where I was at the convention with my friends, and we all saw it, and it was one of those, well, I gotta buy it, you know? Yep, this is like pretty much the N64's version of E.T. for the 2600. It was one of the earliest, like, kind of bad video game jokes, like, on the internet. Like, I think it was AVGN that made the video, kind of making fun of it, or someone like that, and then it kind of was a laughingstock. It was obviously a laughingstock at the time, but in my life, growing up in the 2000s, this was one of the first N64 games I heard about after Mario 64. So, it's a kind of infamous one. I also grabbed a copy of Tomb Raider for the Sega Saturn. This one I think I have a loose copy of somewhere in box. I always pick up basically every Saturn game I can find. They do look just really good on a shelf, and this is a pretty good game, so probably one of the better cross-platform games that made it to the Saturn. Also ended up with Wonder Boy and Monsterland. Speaking of cross-platform games, I believe this one is the same as Dragon's Curse on the TurboGrafx, which is one of my favorite TurboGrafx games. Box is a little beat up, but that's probably not the worst thing ever to replace. There's a lot of cheap sports games. But yeah, I have a lot of Master System games, just none that are like really worth playing. So this is one to actually give me a reason to pull the system out for once. This one here, I don't even remember where I got it from, but it's Super R-Type for the Super Nintendo. I played a little bit of R-Type, and I've had some fun with it, so I assume this is just going to be more of that. And for $17, seemed decent. And this is going to be my last game before I get into the really, really heavy hitters. So everything I've been showing have been pretty good games, good pickups, but nothing like insane, no grails or anything. This is going to be the last one before I get into that, which this game is really good. Space Station Silicon Valley for the N64. This one, I think, is a little, not infamous, but it does have a bug where it'll actually crash if you have the expansion pack in, which is funny. It's a pretty neat game. I've seen some gameplay of it, and it seemed really fun. I actually saw it for the first time at like a Games Done Quick or something, but I've wanted to have it for a while. I just never found a copy. Going into here, all pretty big games. So we're going to start out with a couple Jaguar games. This one here in the box, I got Super Burnout. This one I think I picked up at PAX. I don't see many box Jaguar games ever, so whenever I do, I'll pick them up, for as long as I don't have it already. This is one of the better games for the system. It's just a motorcycle racing game. But yeah, box Jaguar game, can't really go wrong. These two here, unfortunately, are not in box, although I am on the lookout for boxes, so if anyone watching this has empty boxes for either of these games, let me know, because I am interested. First one here is Raiden. This one I think is like a shoot 'em up, one of the few on the console, but I've seen some gameplay and it was one that I kind of had on my radar. And then the next one I've heard a lot of good things about, specifically from my friend Rob, and I know he's watching this video, and that is Alien vs. Predator for the Jaguar. This is kind of like a Doom-esque first-person shooter. Instead of demons, you're fighting aliens. I think this is the one that's got like a weird thing where they'll drop like a pool of acid and they'll kind of burn you if you walk over, which seems a little annoying. But overall, I've heard good things about the game, so definitely have to give that a try. This one here, I already kind of have. I just have a loose copy, and it was one of the first GBA games I ever owned, so I really wanted to have it complete in box, and it's in really good condition. And that is Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. Box looks super minty. Obviously, game's in there. I'm probably going to keep my original cartridge because it still has my save on it, and then just sell the loose cartridge off because I don't need two copies. But yeah, super clean, super nice looking, and it is just a really good game. So wanted to have that one in box to kind of display and show off. We are down to the last four. I'm going to go kind of in order of price, at least for what I paid. So first off, I got Daikatana for the N64. This is one of the more expensive games, and also one of the worst games for the system. This one's definitely an infamous one. It had like a whole marketing campaign that kind of backfired because the game sucked. It was made by John Romero, the creator of, or one of the creators of like Doom, Quake, Wolfenstein, all of that. And it wasn't very good, especially on the N64. So there we are. Unfortunately, the label is a little messed up, but I got a discount because of that. So, oh, and yeah, it's missing the back. It's not the best condition, but it's what this game deserves. Next up, we've got Mega Man 5 for the NES. I think the only Mega Man NES game that I don't have already, except for one. Somehow I still haven't found Mega Man 1. But yeah, I have 2, 3, 4, I think I have 6. I don't even know which other ones are on there, but I have a lot of them. But not this one, so now I do. This one here, I talked about the TurboGrafx a little earlier. This is one of the, not quite a grail for the TurboGrafx, because it's not the most expensive game out there, but this is one of those must-haves for it, and that is Splatterhouse. This was like the big exclusive to that system for a long time. Pretty good game. Not like my favorite thing ever, but it is fun. I've had some fun playing it in like emulators and re-releases, but pretty neat. It's one that I've been kind of keeping my eye out for. And this isn't a terrible price for a complete box. Technically, there was an actual cardboard box, but I don't care about that for any TurboGrafx games because that just makes everything way too expensive. And the last game I got and probably the most expensive, the most important one for my collection is Stunt Racer on the N64. Now, if you guys aren't into the N64 collecting sphere, or just haven't heard of this game, you would think that this would be like a $20-$30 game, that it wouldn't really be all that crazy, all that expensive. These go for between $300 to $400 usually. They fluctuate a lot, but this was a Blockbuster exclusive, kind of similar to Clay Fighter Sculptor's Cut, which is the most expensive game. This is usually sitting around like second to third place in terms of expensive N64 games. Now I just have the other two that are more expensive than this, but this definitely takes a big one off that list. Biggest problem is these two stickers on the back, but this was a Blockbuster exclusive, and these two stickers I think add a little bit of authenticity to it, so it's one of those things where, like, I have a couple Blockbuster cases and games with, like, the stickers on them. I usually keep them on there just because I think it's cool. I think I've only been in a Blockbuster, like, twice in my whole life, but it's one of those things I don't want to completely peel off and remove that history from it. I think it's cool leaving it this way. But yeah, that is pretty much it. Only other thing that I bought this month that would be really interesting or game-related, I did buy the special edition Doom Xbox controller, which is cool. I've been playing through Dark Ages. It is really good. I enjoy it. I know it's kind of all over the place, but I've had a lot of fun. But yeah, if you guys did enjoy this video at all, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Once again, I'm sorry for my voice being really bad. There's not really much I can do about that, unfortunately. Hopefully it heals soon, because talking like this is really painful. But yeah, I'm not sure what I'm going to have out next month. I think I might be getting pretty close to my setup tour, although I've said that in the past few months, and I don't want to keep promising things, but we'll see. So, like I said, if you enjoy, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys later. Goodbye.